on today's Minute of the Apes. You know, my house is a 1937 house, and it is just an unending series of projects. But I have to remind myself that it's probably a place I'm going to live until the end of my days, even though at times I just want to blow it up.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
This is the divine bomb.
The only good human is a dead human! There is fire, there is smoke.
The minute of the apes. The minute of the apes. The minute of the apes. The minute of the apes.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd. That was Richard. We got Sean. I'm knocking
Friday.
the doors down on Friday because this is the most notes I've had on 1 minute in a long time.
I know. And
Really?
Yeah, I've got a
Really?
ton. And I don't. It's funny because I don't remember making all these notes, but Sean said that and I looked and went, oh shit, I got a lot too. So
I know. This in the next minute, I have some stuff to talk about. Yeah.
So the crazy thing is, with all these notes, it'll probably only take us 3 minutes
I know.
to do the whole thing. Oh, we're done. With that, Sean,
All right.
go ahead and tell us minute 85.
We're going to start minute 85 with Lisa saying, "A good and wise king," and ends with the lawgiver saying, "Still we wait, my children."
All right, here it comes. Minute 85. Is this the last dialogue-driven minute of the movie?
No, the next minute
Just-
has a
just-
lawgiver.
there'll be a little bit.
There's a little
Yeah,
bit in
yeah.
that before we go to the credits. Okay, so we're winding down. ladies
Next
and-
week
and
we'll
gents, that's
wind
right.
it,
We've
yeah.
only got 3 minutes left in this film. Let's hear minute 85, Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Our good and wise king.
We'll rebuild what's ruined and begin again. Tell me something, MacDonald. Can we make the future what we wish?
I've heard that it's possible, Caesar.
There. Every weapon is back in its proper place. Caesar, I want to ask a favor. This armory's been my home for 27 years.
You may live in it for the rest of your days.
But I don't want to live in it. Oh, no. Now that the danger is over, I want to see it destroyed, blown up. The greatest danger of all is that danger never ends.
And so, Mandemus, we must be patient and wait.
We still wait, my children.
As of minute 85, we have a surprisingly alive village worth of apes and humans, plus a much smaller ghost city worth of radioactive people, and no more Aldo.
All right, visually, we begin just outside the corral after our conversation between McDonald and Caesar. Then we hard cut right over to them all walking away as though it's the beginning of like a shot of the monkeys with them almost one leg over the other.
Hey, the monkeys.
Uh-huh. They walk along, they talk. We go to shots of all the weapons being piled up, which hard cuts over to Mandemus inside his now very dimly lit hut as he pontificates about what he wants to see done. And Caesar all but tells him, hey, bitch, you're staying right where you are. All right, so there we are, minute 85.
Whenever Caesar goes, we'll rebuild what was ruined, and then I want him to say, and then we'll ruin what we've rebuilt.
Well, and also, let's acknowledge that, Richard, does this make you the Mandemus of our group? Since you want to basically...
27 years. 27 years of my life. I don't want to do it anymore.
I just want to say, Sean and I do call you Mandemus when we text about you behind your back.
Hey, yeah.
I don't get
It's the hair. It's the hair,
It's
right?
what it is.
Okay.
And
thanks.
this is another thing that gives us no sense of the timeline. He's been there 27 years. That means 27 years since the end of the human occupation of the
between-
the
since
apes.
the-
that would easily put Caesar. Let's say Caesar was a teenager.
That'd put him in his 50s.
Yeah.
He'd be close. He'd be at least in his mid 40s by this point.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
And McDonald's brother would have to be a teenager as well.
Yeah, because McDonald would have had to been out there 27 years. I mean, that would have been his entire life.
And that's with the assumption that they started immediately with the armory. That there wasn't any traveling for a period of time. 27 years is a long time.
And Culp hasn't aged 27 years.
Well, that's the radiation.
Ah.
You actually don't age at that point. If you use the makeup kit that Alma had,
again,
you put that on.
And now we're getting Back to the Future because of this last minute.
I saw that movie.
I saw it 3 times.
Did you know we were supposed to go back to Alma and Mendez?
That's what I was gonna. I was gonna say we don't see back at the city them going.
We're supposed to go back to them. We're
twiddling their fingers,
a very brief moment.
Where's Cole?
Okay, well, real
It's
quick,
been a week.
let's talk about that because that could be an interesting thing when we go from outside the corral and it hard cuts over to them doing the walk and talk. That would have been a nice insertion there to give us a moment
to breathe. Yeah, because that goes from all right, we freed it to. Everybody's very calm for just having a fucking war blowing up. We saw big explosions and trees burning and shit falling down, and all their poor little barricade of shit that they got. I just think that was a junk pile of stuff they wanted to get rid of.
Maybe
it was spring cleaning time. Make a barricade. Let's burn it all down.
A lot of my family lived in the country, and I used to love when they would do like the trash. They burn trash, so that's all they're doing, really.
Yeah, but everybody's just very calm. All right, let's just pick it up. There should be people wailing and crying, shell shock.
We should see instead of the doctor walking with him, she should be
treating
attending
somebody.
to the injured.
Yeah.
But maybe Richard, if you'll read to us what they had, maybe if you put that in here before we cut to this walk and talk, this could have worked a little bit better.
So Caesar goes, we'll rebuild what's ruined and begin again. Tell me, McDonald, can you make the future what we wish? McDonald's supposed to have heard it's possible, Caesar.
Who did he hear that from?
He's smiling.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Sorry, I'm jumping back. McDonald being so aggressive, like 30 seconds earlier, and then smiling and laughing about it a while later. There's still issues to work out here. Like, now we're all buddies. Everything's great.
That's where it would go to Todd's point of cut to the radioactive city, and then that at least gives us a little breathing between those two.
I've heard it's possible, Caesar. Shot cut to a blurred mass. Camera zooms out quickly, focusing as we go. We are startled to find ourselves looking at, once again, at a tilted angle of the Alpha Omega bomb, which we never saw the bomb, so maybe that's why they cut this. Right. We are in the missile silo, and Alma and Mendez are alone. Alma in shock sits hunched, one finger motionally poised over the button. We must pray she will never press. Her face is drained and empty. Mendez, Alma, you must rest. Alma, while our enemies live to fight another day, no, Mendez, we must not rest. We must be prepared to wait and wait and wait. And then it's supposed to cut back to Mandemus as he stacks the final gun. Caesar, can I ask a favor? This armory has been my home for 27 years.
Yeah, because then that ties us back into Beneath and the Divine Bomb and all that kind of stuff.
They could have easily shot that, but since we didn't get the missile stuff, they may have just cut it. But when Caesar mentions the danger, or when Virgil mentions the greatest danger is never ends, but there's no
the payoff.
That threat is not there.
But having that's almost like a Avenger or a Marvel movie Easter egg tease of you don't show the bomb the entire movie, and then you show her showing that, which ties it back into Beneath.
Yeah, that actually would kind of
go. Then you go,
crap.
That's where the Divine Bomb came from.
I wonder if they didn't want to insert more of the mutants here because they wanted people to think this is over. But if they insert shots of the mutants, then
maybe the
threat
next
is still,
movie is going to be
Well, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You've not shown me that those people are dead. That they're you've not shown
there's
that
still
every
a
mutant
contingency
is gone.
out there. Yeah.
Right. There are people back in the radiated city. Show me something that says something. And plus, again, I think what could have been interesting with these films is they do have a bit of a circle upon themselves of the Peggy Sue got married burrito thing. Where a burrito wraps time is like a burrito that wraps on itself.
Yes.
It's the same thing. All these elements should wrap on themselves because this is going to feed that, because we know we've had a time loop in here. We need it.
The bomb would have been nice. I'm sorry, I didn't think about that.
They should have had it.
As you're talking about it, it'd be great to see the bomb now. And
something.
They're never out of the woods.
The real fans would have gone,
right.
That's from the second movie.
And even non-real fans would have
gone, oh shit, there's still a danger out there. Yeah.
Well, I find this style of editing, and I've been very focused on it throughout these films. I tried to find some instance of anything I could about film editing of that era. These two men that edited this, Alan Jaggs and John C. Horger, had mostly television credits, which kind of explains a little bit of how it's cut.
Pacing and everything, yeah.
But Jags edited Conquest, and that was very, it had its moments of stumbles, but it was still edited very film-like. This one, man, it is just hacked and whacked, and this idea of just jumping from the conclusion of a statement right to another thing with no breath, it's harsh.
I mean, even just a cutaway shot of people cleaning up the city. I mean, the Ape City would have been a better transition than just cutting from... we need to be equals to, hey, let's all be friends.
Well, and then we get back to that whole thing where everybody's smiling, and it's just
everybody wants to pat each other on the. You're almost waiting for the freeze frame, and then the directed by.
Yeah.
Again, I go back on this idea of mixed messages with guns. We're now putting them all away. We're putting them back to where they were. And then we have to close off Mandemus's plot line for some reason. I'm not really
I don't
sure
understand why Mandemus...
He wants to get out of there, but he wants to burn it all to ground. And I'm not sure if Caesar agreed with that. I think he's still trapped there. Like, I couldn't quite tell.
Oh, yeah. Mandemus isn't going anywhere.
Yeah,
because,
you got to watch these.
Caesar knows there's still a city of mutants out there. He knows that not everybody came here. They could rebuild and attack us again. But, there's still fucking wild animals out there. What happens when a wolf shows up or a bear shows up? You're going to fight it barehanded?
No, they'll talk to it.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be happy. Hey, wolf.
Yeah.
Lisa starts off this minute saying he's a wise and good king. And now he's like, sorry, Mandemus. You got to stay.
But he's wise.
But it's just kind of...
What he should have said is, Mandemus, we're going to find you a replacement. Here is your new trainee. Here is your... And that's why he's wise and great. Mandemus is going to go, oh, now I can finally take this burden off myself. I'm sorry that you have to have it now, but I'm free.
Or some other way of dealing with what an armory means and what it means to have defense versus having an active military. Yeah. Like, where is that balance? We don't have enough dialogue to make that happen. We do get a little bit of a confirmation here that Caesar is king. I mean, that's... They've kind of talked about it and danced around it, but we never had this moment of him being king. But I'm curious how he got there.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that hierarchy exists and who is under him. We've had the sense of it, and they've kind of danced around it. But this is the first definitive statement. You are a wise and good king.
Right.
So now we know that he's a king, not elected official.
I guess when you say Hail Caesar, you don't usually say that about your president or elected official. So we had that earlier.
True,
that's more
but I mean, she comes out and just says it now.
Yeah. So to go pick on again the editing of this film, it right after we have this exchange of everybody being chipper, the camera pans from right to left, starting at about 17 seconds in, to shots of all the guns being piled up on a table.
Yeah.
That shot lasts for almost 5 seconds.
Yeah. Watching Virgil try to keep the guns from falling off the table.
Right. And then we hard cut over to Mandemus putting the guns up. I don't need that fucking shot of the table before that. If you just cut to Mandemus and just seen it
away. Yeah.
And you know what I would rather have? Give me 5 more seconds of a correct argument in this film. It seems often that their decisions are backwards. They're focusing on things like 5 seconds of gun piling that it don't need.
Yeah.
It's very sloppy. Or if you're going to do that, why not cut? What they should have done inside of Mandemus's hut is cut to him a shot of his hand putting the gun up, so at least you keep thematically going.
Or if you're going to show that pile of guns, you see one gorilla hand like take a handgun out from the pile, and you just see, instead of placing one in, you see one taken away, so the danger is still always out there. You make it subtle, but the danger is still always there.
Right. I would, by the way, I want somebody, since you two know the comic book world so much, and I know there are tons of comic writers and artists that listen to us on a daily basis, I want someone to make a Mandemus comic book. I want to know what he does when he's away from the armory. Does he run in the fields of lilies?
He's doing that all the time. Oh!
Maybe if you're an ape, can you skinny dip?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're technically naked all the time out in the wild.
Why is it skinny dipping? It's, I guess, because you're just showing skin and dipping and
skinny dip. I guess.
Well, since he doesn't necessarily, his skin is covered by fur, would it be furry dip?
There you go.
He's furry dipping.
But they do have
that sounds gross.
Like orangutans in like trying to swim-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I do want to give the minute a nice nod as it finishes off, because that dissolve from Caesar into the lawgiver I think is beautiful, because it becomes that the lawgiver has it basically Caesar's framed left looking right, and the dissolve to the lawgiver's face is 100% without question intentionally lined up so that their two faces bleed one into the other.
Yeah.
And it becomes the story, the passing on it. That's beautifully done. Why the fuck couldn't they pay attention to every frame of this film that much? I looked at that and I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. It's just, it's beautiful. But it